Lots of people find enjoyment in going hiking and exploring new places. This activity can be such a fun thing to do while on vacation to pass the time. During the summer of 2018, my family, along with our closest family and friends, took a trip to Tennessee. We spent all week exploring Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg and doing all kinds of different activities such as Dollywood, the Wonderworks Upside Down House, and the Titanic Museum. But as typical tourists, we had to spend at least one day going up the mountain and hiking. On the day of our hike, we were supposed to go hiking and then that night go to the Comedy Barn back in Pigeon Forge. Me and Stacy were very excited about this trip to the Comedy Barn, so we were very adamant on getting back on time for our show. As our cars parked, we were very impatient and started our trail before our parents got out of the vehicle. We raced up to the top as fast as we could, but in leaving beforehand, we failed to hear that our families had made plans to stop midway at a bluff and eat lunch. So even though we stopped periodically to catch our breath or just look at what Mother Nature had to offer, our families never caught up to us to tell us that we were supposed to stop. So we raced onward to the top. Once we reached the top, although we had heard beforehand that the top had multiple different buildings and people staying there, people that rent out the cabins to spend a week or two in advance, we noticed that the buildings were really run down and kind of in bad shape. So since the path went on, we decided that wasn't the very top and we needed to keep going. As we kept going, we noticed that this path turned the mountain and started going back down. So we thought maybe we got back on the same path again and we would exit in the right spot. As we neared the bottom of the mountain, rain started pouring and lightning started popping everywhere. So we knew we needed to get someplace safe fast. We took off running and noticed that we weren't in the spot that we started and we were miles away from where we were supposed to be. So we decided to hide out in the bathroom since the storm was happening. Hours passed, it began to get dark, and we started preparing to sleep and spend the night in the bathroom. All the while our families were back at the original entrance and exit, worrying to death and crying. They started calling the park rangers and the police to try and send out a search party to find us. About an hour after dark, we just so happened to walk outside the restroom and a cop was pulling up to try and find us. He pulled over and asked our name and he said, "Well, your parents are looking for you. Hop in, we'll give you a ride." So we drove up, and in the midst of all this, we wound up missing our showtime at the Comedy Barn. So as you can see, safety is very crucial, and we should have been so much more prepared. We should have stayed along with our parents and known the proper route to take and where we were stopping to meet up. So this caused us to miss our shot at the Comedy Barn and caused a lot of worrying and complaining and crying that we never heard the end of.